host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today.
Hello and good afternoon. It's not good afternoon yet because I still have 30 minutes. But hey, good morning. It is Tuesday, Coach's Corner, and I am here again in my lonesome because usually when I'm here, Coach Monica has a lot of things going on. She has got just I can't even fathom living in her bones because of what she does. But she's got big plans that she is doing. She's working hard. And so I felt like, well, I could either go on here and do a live by myself or not. And I almost didn't. But I was trying to be inspired. I was honestly, as a coach and somebody who is in the health world, you just kind of get in a funk sometimes when you feel like you're repeating yourself over and over and over again, and you're not really inspired. And today was almost that until I started scrolling and doom scrolling and figuring, oh, you know what? There's a lot. It's a lot in the health world right now. There's a lot about politics. There is a battle going on because there's a battle going on of like the things that we have been brainwashed over many, many decades on what is right and what's wrong. And then actual data from other sources that were never paid attention to, but were a little bit spot on with results and data, are starting to be like, whoa, wait a minute. I feel like you guys are wrong. And when that happens, there's a battle going on. So we're fighting for you. We're fighting for what is right and what is wrong. I titled today as envy. But before I go into what that looks like, I want to share this out because I'm on Coach Monica's page, and I want to, and I can't set up my pages on her stuff. So if you wouldn't mind sharing this out, who knows, this could be a doozy. I don't really know what I'm going to say today. So hang tight and enjoy because it's Tuesday and Coach hops on here just sporadically. I do that to myself. And then I'm like, what did I even say? But the foundation of what we're going to say today, as we're sharing this out on our pages and groups, I'm sharing out into my group, the Weight Loss Project. I am, and why not? Why not share that too? I'll do that. Okay. And then I'm going to share it to my own homepage, I think. Or, yep, I'm going to do that. So we're sharing the news of what Coach is going to end up talking about. I have some points that I want to discuss. And I always love bringing up James Clear's book of Atomic Habits. And I really believe that and as I'm clearing out all of my stuff, anybody else just find themselves not clearing things out and your phone gets all stocked up and nasty with all of the stuff that you've looked at in the past 5 days? Anyway, so James Clear is a Root Foundation and has really changed a lot of our clients' lives and motivation to do a health style change. And there are a lot of times, there's going to be certain chapters that speak louder to certain clients. And today yesterday in our group, we went over chapter 9 in Atomic Habits. And that just spoke big words to both Coach and I think a lot of our clients as well. I'll get to that because I'll bring into what my favorite part about chapter 9 was. But when I'm doom scrolling on Facebook, like I was saying, I see a lot of our influencers fighting for our health rights because our medical system is so bizarre, and I don't utilize the medical system a whole lot. And recently we did, because our son had an accident and we were worried that something was broken. So we took him to the ER. Let me tell you, my kid was strong. He did not want medication. He's like, no, I don't want anything. I don't want any drugs. I think he was thinking that it was going to be a shot. They were just trying to give him Tylenol. But we took him to the ER. We checked him in. We laid there. They took his weight on the bed. They took some of his vitals. They asked him questions. They also then took 2 x-rays on his hips because it was about a hip problem. And then we stayed there they asked for medication, like if he wanted any medication, and he was like, no, I don't want any medication. So he laid there for 2 hours while we wait for results, while we get the next step of what is wrong with my kid, how can we help him. They come in 2 hours later and said, nothing's broken, everything looks good, just take some ibuprofen or Tylenol. And they sent us on our way. And then we got the medical bills. We got one that was probably close to $3,000, thinking that that was the total of all of it. Nope, I got another one, and that was for the x-rays. The x-ray, our insurance covered a little bit of it, so it was like maybe $13, not too shabby. And then surprisingly, I thought all of that was going to happen and be done, and we were just going to start paying on this $3,000 worth of medical bills. And then there was another one. Has no reasoning or purpose as to what all the expenses are. Why am I looking at just an x-ray and let's lay here for 2 hours and then walk out the hospital by yourself with no other explanation, whatever? Like, why does it cost so much? I would have felt like a terrible mom if I didn't go to the ER, not knowing whether or not something was broken or not. So I went to the ER. But by golly, it makes me think I will probably, if I ever break my leg, I will splint it myself and heal with a crooked leg because I don't want to deal with a medical business. Now, with this being said, this is a long story. Sorry, but I'm just baffled by it. It's dumb. But in a lot of sense, it just goes along why there's such a battle happening in our society right now about like what is working, what's not working. A big major problem that we see nowadays is the obesity, heart disease, these diseases that people are popping up with that we didn't really have a whole lot of back in the days, back in the olden days before things got real shady. And now we're seeing that. We're seeing all the shadiness, decades later of what they were thinking. And it's really frustrating. It really is. So as I'm scrolling on Facebook, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of people chiming in about, the politics of our food. Who knew our food would ever be something political? Who knew that we would be bickering and arguing over what is right and wrong? I have clients that are so confused on what is up and what is down when it comes down to what is going to get them healthy. There's so many different pathways, so many different vines that people can go and walk around. And the biggest one I'm noticing as a health coach, and I've been a health coach for quite some time now. It's starting to creep up. Coach Monica is actually going to be celebrating her, I feel like it's today. Is it today? No, it's not today. On the 12th of June. It's going to be her 9th year anniversary of changing her life. That's amazing to me. To me, like when we are living a lifestyle that long and changing our health, and that to me that says sustainability. So anyway, that was a side note. But when there are so many different sources, so many different opinions, it goes to show you our bodies are so different. But ultimately, there is a root foundation to a lot of our health answers and questions, actually. The foundation is simplicity. The answer and a part of this foundation is whole foods. Our ancestors were not wrong. They grew their food, they hunted their food, they prepared their food by themselves or as a family, and they survived and they lived long lives. I was just talking to somebody the other day about our grandparents and how our grandparents lived a long life, just in the 90s. My grandparents were a blessing, and they lived, and on this simplicity life. They were not on a whole bunch of medications. They took care of their health, but they lived to be near 100. So, it just says something. It just says something that what went wrong. And you got to get to question that, and that you got to think outside the box. Going back to doom scrolling. When I'm doom scrolling, I'm seeing a lot of people's opinions, but the biggest thing I'm seeing is convenience. Oh, I just lost another 4 pounds this week. Ask me how I did it. DM me. Listen, I was a part of that. I sold MLM company products. I did that because of the desperation and the fact that I didn't necessarily want to change my lifestyle. And I didn't want to change the food choices, and I didn't want to change much of anything. I wanted to continue to not miss out on life. I mean, because you got that phrase of YOLO, you only live once. Yeah, you only live once, but when you get to that certain age where it starts to break down, you have regrets. You don't want to be losing your legs. You don't want to be losing, your arms and legs and feet to diabetes. You don't want to be having a heart stent put in your body. You don't want to be having these things to stay alive. Yeah, you only live once, but why not take care of your body while you can and take care of it well? Anyway, that was a side note, but I see these MLM companies. I haven't seen that for a while, actually, because the Ozempic and Mounjaro and all these other weight loss shots and pills are flooding the Facebook feeds. And so that I think the MLM companies are, starting to feel that that same thing, because I remember when I was selling the MLM company products, at first it was just, vitamins. And then it was like these skinny wraps and these blah, blah, blah. You're going to lose weight. You need to get all the sludge out of your stomach and take this pill and all this stuff. Like, yeah, I'll lose 15 pounds and just get rid of the sludge in my stomach. As I talk about that and I think about it, I'm like, it's not completely wrong, but it's stupid. Like, I can say I lost 15 pounds. You're not going to see it because it was from my gut. But it makes us feel good when we are seeing 15 pounds lost in our scale. Whatever makes you happy. But the fact of the matter is that you have this root of envy when you are having health problems, when you are constantly finding yourself in the doctor's office trying to find answers, and they don't have the answers for you, but they have a pill to give you to cover up something that might work, but it might not work. So you're going to have to take this other pill to counter that pill. and you're constantly in the doctor's office and constantly with these medical bills, I don't see how y'all do it. With one emergency room visit, that's $3,000 down the drain. Plus, because I keep getting bills for something, I don't know what. But when you're on top of that, having to pay for medical bills and the pills that they're telling you to buy, you better have great insurance. I mean, we have great insurance, but we don't go to the hospital enough to meet a deductible. Like, that's just, it's crazy. But we depend on that. We do. In America, we depend on these doctors to give us the answers. And when you go to a doctor and they don't have the answer for you, they're just going to start experimenting on you. So you're an experiment with pills. When the answer is there's the convenience is ideal, but it's not going to work. So all of this is frustrating to me as a health coach when I see when clients come to me and said enough is enough, and I'm getting them, having tons of pills and tons of things the doctor said is wrong with them and that is not curable and reversible. In fact, that actually is reversible and curable. You get really frustrated when you see the results in your own data and know that it is actually a thing. Like, there's so many different types of people on different types of things that are wrong with them at different weights and whatever you've got. And we all, since we're all so differently, the root foundation is the same. Work hard, put the effort in, and grieve those food choices that you have to grieve in order to have a healthier lifestyle. An MLM company is another money pit. I experienced it. Poor Mark, he was okay with it. He wasn't okay with it, but he was supportive of it because he knew that I was in that desperate state of I wanted to get healthy and I wanted to lose weight because I needed to. I was over 220 pounds. I was not eating the healthiest. I thought I was eating healthy based on somebody's information out there that said, oh, I lost 30 pounds just by changing this. No, it's like, that didn't work. It might have worked for you, but we're also created differently, and we've all treated our bodies differently, and we've abused them. We've treated them well, or we haven't treated them well. So we're all going to work differently. And so the fact of the matter is, when we see somebody that their body's still working properly and they may have, some weight on them and they're calling themselves overweight, you begin to have this envy. You begin to have this jealousy, and you are willing to get into the state of desperation. And that state of desperation is going to cause you to make poor choices. Actually, I'm going to counter that, because there's a state of desperation where, yes, you're going to make the poor choices, but then there's another state of desperation that you're willing to try and grieve the food choices that are causing you to stay unhealthy and overweight, unhealthy and skinny. So it just depends on which pathway of desperation that you choose to do. I have shared this many times on my live and been very, very vulnerable with you and saying I wanted to laser the fat off of my body and start over and say, I promise I'll eat better. But I didn't fix myself mentally, so no, I wouldn't have eaten better. I would have gone back and say, oh, I feel good. I can eat this stuff again. This is what's happening to people on the shot. When they're not fixing what they are eating, they feel skinny and healthy, but when the funds run out, or when they're done taking a shot, and when they're done feeling the way they're feeling, they are still eating the way that they were eating. They did not grieve the foods that they decide to get that they should have given up, and they gain everything back plus rapidly. It's not a slow process. That being said, You have to be careful with what you are listening to on the internet. Even be careful with what you're listening to with Coach Monica and myself. Use your thinker. Use the common sense. That would be what I would suggest with that. Use your thinker. I said I was going to bring up James Clear, and I am. I'm going to bring up chapter 9, but he talks about there are 3 different things that help determine how our habits that we're trying to form are created, and how our family and friends determine our habits. And the 3 of them are those who are close to us determine our habits. That's true. All of these are true. I've experienced it. Those who are many. So we're thinking of like a pack of wolves. He talks about a pack of wolves, actually. The majority of people. If the majority are all renovating their homes, then yeah, you're going to be motivated to renovate your home. If the majority are celebrating Christmas and Halloween and all these other things, then yeah, you're going to hop on that bandwagon. If the majority are getting their tans on for the summer to get in their bikinis and then doing starvation diets, yeah, we're all going to be on board with that. And then there's those who enjoy power. That one is what I'm going to kind of to pick at. Those who enjoy power. Those who enjoy power and love followers. You'll see this on as you doom scroll. You'll see these people with these strong opinions. They're either saying those strong opinions to get a rise out of people and get more views. They're doing that to, collect money from you all who watch them. You've got the music industry. You've got the political industry. You've got the actors, the theater, all that industry. When their face is on the screen, you are looking to those people. You are watching their lives, and which creates this envy. And whatever they're doing, it doesn't matter how much it costs you, how much it's going to put you in debt, you are going to follow them because they are in the limelight. But I'm here to tell you that you can be your own limelight. You can be not necessarily in a negative way. You can be replicating a behavior in a positive way to inspire others for a change. We are pulled towards these behaviors. I'm going to read this. We are pulled towards behaviors that will help us gain acceptance, respect, praise, and status. I mentioned last night in our group that to me, that sounds like somebody who is really insecure with themselves, who doesn't know how to accept and love themselves for who God created them to be. That is, there's much more deeper root than this, and then this is just touching the surface of this topic. And so because we are insecure and we feel like we may not be as creative as the next person, or not as great of a vocalist as another person, or as thin and fit as the next person, you start to imitate those that you envy. And then that creates a habit for you. What if you turn that around and found out how marvelously wonderful you are made and embraced your unique gifts and talents and beauty, and you use that to be a leader to inspire other people to also do the same? What a different world we would be living in if we all embraced our unique qualities. This is going a little bit off of our weight loss, but this is what we do as coaches. We get you to think outside the box. We get you to think about beyond the food and the choices, because when you're feeling good about yourself, when you're confident with who you are, with your confidence comes a a place where you're not in desperation, because you're created for a purpose. And when you don't see that, you're constantly trying to search for, oh, I like how this person is, I'm going to be like them, even if it's positive or negative. I mean, again, there's so much more to this that I'm not tagging on. But if we were to be a leader in confidence and we all encouraged others to be embracing who God created them to be in the first place, we would not be dependent on food to comfort us, maybe alcohol to comfort us, maybe gambling. I mean, all these things that are addictions that we put before ourselves, because we need something to cover up our feelings, because we need to cover up something that is causing us to feel stressed out, anxious, worried. And usually when our home, okay, I'm going to go in this route, when our home is not how we like it, it starts to make us feel out of place. It makes us feel like crawly. It's kind of like how, in comparison to our bodies, when we are not treating our bodies the way that we could be treating them in a healthier lifestyle, and making healthier choices with, exercise, and our, again, our food choices, our bodies start to feel crawly and uncomfortable, and that starts us to become not confident in the things that we were created to do. I've been there. I've done that. I'm gonna wrap all this together. So hang tight with me, because there's a lot of different points here that I'm trying to make. So instead of imitating those with the power already, why can't we create our own confidence and be a leader in that aspect? Here's and that whole phrase of like, you are who you hang out with, that is legit. That is true. Whomever came up with that is a genius, because we are who we hang out with. And so I think it's important to, when you decide to have enough of being slow and overweight and always in the hospital, always having medical problems, you not only need to check about what's going on the inside, but on the outside, in your surroundings. What's happening there? Are you overly stressed? Because sometimes, that stress can cause you to end up in the hospital because of other complications that stress causes. I don't know. That's a side note. But when we get into that desperation, when we are allowing others to dictate what we desire, what we think is the next fad, what's the next popular food trend, what is it, the next popular go-to to lose weight, MLM companies, all of you are included in this. You become envious. You become desperate to do whatever it takes. But yet you're not willing. It's funny because you're not willing to do the hard things by giving up the food choices that are causing you to stay sick. You're not willing to get up and move more because you're exhausted and you don't already feel excited to move in the morning and go to the gym or to walk outside, because you're too exhausted based off of your lifestyle choices of overly saying yes to everything and volunteering and doing everything for everybody else. Or I can name a whole bunch of things that cause us to get stressed out and cause us to get exhausted and tired all the time. And it comes down to the root, again, of what are your food choices? What are you feeding your body? What are you fueling your body with? Are you sleeping well? Are you getting to bed on time? Like there's so many things that factor in. It's not just about food. But it is such hard work that we don't want to work hard at it and give it up and because we're so afraid of what other people are going to think. We're so afraid of missing out, also known as FOMO. You have that mindset of you only live once, might as well enjoy it now because we only got one life to live. Well, why would you live a life like that in misery when you could be living it in full and beauty and energy and excitement and happiness and joy, all of those things? Instead, you're going to eat yourself into misery. It is true. I see it. You eat yourself into misery because of your food choices. And also, you don't move or get outside because you don't want to be uncomfortable. These are hard things today. All comes down to envy. And that's why we choose the easier route that will not cause us to give up the things that are harming us. We like the poisons so much that we're not willing to give it up. And that's why, us health coaches are not popular people. Monica says that all the time. We are not popular people because, but then when that moment, that moment that I told you that when you become in a desperate mode, you either choose the desperation of easy path or you use the desperation of it's going to take a lot of hard work path. Once you take that desperation path of it's going to take a lot of hard work path and I'm willing to do it, then you're going to love us because we are great supporters of you because we believe in you. We believe that you can change. We believe that you can do anything you set your mind to. And we are the positive in your life when you have a lot of negative yapping at you. When you get overwhelmed with noise, you just want to cover your ears or shut the door. But you can't do that when you're not shutting the door. That's what I have for you today. I think, I don't know, I feel like maybe I wrapped everything up today. And thanks for hanging in there. It was kind of like a doomsday Tuesday. That's what happens when I don't have a coach here. We talking and having a good conversation. But I just want to encourage you. Like, this is what I will close with. I want to encourage you. You can do it. You can give up the toxic waste that you are consuming every single day, whether that be people's words, whether that be the actual food it's in toxic waste itself, whether that be getting rid of the social media that is doomsday scrolling nowadays, that is causing you to envy and have jealousy, that is causing you to feel even more miserable about yourself. You can do hard things. And I'm here to encourage you this morning because it's still morning time. It's not even 12 o'clock yet. Pretty proud of myself there. Yeah, you can do hard things. You are capable. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't get confused by all of those fads and trends out there. It comes down to simplicity and eating whole foods that God created. It's simple stuff. Simple. When it has 500 million different ingredients in the other ingredients that you say, oh, the nutrition label says it has 0 sugar, but then it's got 5 different other sugars in the other ingredients, that's not healthy. That is not simplicity. So anyway, that being said, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Next week, I'm hoping that Coach Monica is back and that she is full of good news from all the things that she's done and what she's doing. And I hope you all have a fantastic summer. Don't give up because it's just summer. Don't give in. Don't get lazy because it's just summer. It's a good time to get motivated. If you need help, um, or are needing a coach, Coach Monica and I are here and we're readily available for you. You can go to kmhealthcoaching.org and check us out. We have several different programs that you can seek out, whether you just need to lose a little bit of weight or learn how to eat healthier. What does it mean when we say, well, what is simplicity? What is right? What is wrong? Like, you don't have to be overweight. You don't have to be super skinny. You don't have to be super unhealthy to change your lifestyle around for a healthier metabolism and a metabolic health. Like, you don't have to. You can do this at any point in time of your journey. We are here to help. We are here to help you get through the hard things, the easy things, and going through Atomic Habits with our group. They are loving it and we're learning a lot. We're changing the things that's not just about food, but are the things that we get us motivated and going and getting rid of the bad habits that we have formed over the years. So it could be whatever you are feeling like you need to have a change in. So we are here to help you. And with that being said, I'm going to try to get over to my closing and we'll talk to you all later. Bye.